This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news. It's Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, and here are today's stories. Load shedding is making life tough in South Africa, but people are finding creative ways to cope with daily power cuts. In Connecticut, Sunny Meadow Farm is using permaculture to turn waste into resources. Meanwhile, Fuerteventura has unveiled a new park, offering free, accessible space for locals to celebrate and connect. Viral videos from China are giving us a behind-the-scenes look at how luxury brands really make their products, from handbags to sneakers. Plus, micro childcare centers are offering working parents flexible, personalized care right where they work. And we're heading into the forest to show how time in nature can help kids connect with the world around them. Load shedding in South Africa has become a daily struggle, with Eskom, the country's state power utility, at the center of the conversation. Power cuts leave homes and businesses in the dark, disrupting routines and making life unpredictable. It's a challenge everyone's learning to adapt to, though not without frustration. Load shedding happens for a variety of reasons, mostly because of aging infrastructure and Eskom struggling to keep up with maintenance and upgrades. Financial issues like massive debt and rising coal costs have made it even harder for Eskom to improve operations. On top of that, corruption and poor management have added to the inefficiencies. Many coal plants aren't performing as they should and can't generate enough power, even with regular maintenance. With no significant new energy capacity being added, the grid just can't keep up with the growing demand. As energy needs increase, the gap between supply and demand keeps leading to frequent outages.
I'm afraid this is the sort of thing we're going to be facing still for another couple of years, where we certainly are looking a lot better than about a year ago or a year and a half ago when we had all this endless load shedding. But we still are in a situation where currently it's only about 60, at any particular time, only about 60% of Eskom's power generating capacity is up and running. So it means that they are still in a, if you like, in a crisis mode. And if too many things go wrong at once, then things are going to look bad, and we could then overstep that mark where Eskom simply cannot hold back, where the demand exceeds what they're able to offer at any particular moment, and then they're forced to go into load shedding.
Power blackouts in South Africa are causing all kinds of problems. Businesses are losing productivity, schools and hospitals are struggling, and load shedding is hitting everyone hard. For businesses, especially small ones, it's a real challenge. They often have to shut down, losing time and money in the process. Many are turning to backup solutions like generators, power banks, or routers, but those don't come cheap. Switching to mobile data when the Wi-Fi goes down adds up extra costs, and restaurants are spending more on gas during outages. All of these extra expenses impact profits, making it even tougher to keep things running.
The latest round of load shedding has left many fuming and frustrated, with small businesses already struggling due to high operational costs and poor economic conditions. Load shedding may worsen the situation. One of the business owners, who was forced to retrench some employees due to load shedding before, has painted a bleak picture of the future of his business.
This load shedding issue, it gave us a big impact in all the activities that is taking place here. As you can see, the TVs are blown off, the fridges are all off. I've tried to maintain some of the fridges, but I can't cope. And most of the workers, I was having 35 workers. Most of them, they have been retrenched. I'm left now with 3 workers. So I'm out. I don't have nothing anymore. We are out. Look at how empty is the place.
A young business owner is equally concerned.
Load shedding
Load shedding is back, and it becomes very difficult for me as an emerging business owner. So I am not coping with load shedding, as I'm also expected to pay rent.
Load shedding significantly disrupts daily life for households too by limiting essential activities like lighting, cooking, and cooling. These frequent power outages create considerable inconvenience for residents trying to maintain a normal routine. To manage these interruptions, many households invest in alternatives like diesel generators or solar power systems, which can ease the impact but also add financial strain. On May 5th, 2025, Eskom shared its winter 2025 outlook, saying the increased reliability of its electricity network will reduce the risk of load shedding this winter.
Now, Eskom says no load shedding can be expected this winter if unplanned losses remain below 13,000 megawatts. The utilities group CEO Dan Marukane gave the State of the System Winter 2025 outlook at Megawatt Park. He says that worst stage 2 will be implemented if unplanned outages reach 15,000 megawatts. The country has seen 5 incidents of load shedding since the start of 2025, attributing to a unit failure and multiple unplanned losses at some power stations. Now, the power utility has also cautioned against illegal connections that have led to rolling load reductions, described as the biggest threat to grid stability.
Eskom CEO says the company is focused on improving the reliability of power generation and plans to add 5.9 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. The company is also restructuring, separating its coal-heavy operations into different units. However, challenges remain, including a $23.6 billion upgrade to the transmission grid. Also, municipalities owe Eskom $5.2 billion in unpaid bills, creating further financial pressure.
At Sunny Meadow Farm in Connecticut, waste is turned into resources using a permaculture approach. UNN Field Messenger Amy breaks down the process.
Hi, Field Messenger Amy reporting for UNN from Bridgewater, Connecticut. And at Sunny Meadow Farm, they partake in a lot of maybe permaculture kind of things where they reuse horse manure from the local horse farm. They use trees that a tree cutter cuts down to help fertilize their land. So let's go see the rest of the story.
When a local stable cleans out the horse stalls, they need some place to get rid of the manure. Instead of having to pay to get rid of it, they load it up and bring it to Sunny Meadow Farm, where it gets turned into fertilizer. These are the piles of horse manure. They have to sit for months as it needs to break down before it can be mixed with wood chips and turned into soil. That area where the orchard is in the distance was once bowl-shaped and unusable land. This symbiotic relationship between the stable owner, the tree person, and the farmer has made it possible to fill this bowl up over time, and now there are fruit-bearing trees.
So this symbiotic relationship between the guy that takes down the trees and the farm owner is that the farm owner takes these little branches and will make these into wood chips, mix this with the horse manure, and then that will make more soil for them. These larger branches, these will get used to make fire when they process their maple syrup. And the large tree chunks that get taken down, well, let me show you what they can do with that at their sawmill.
And here is a dining room table that was built out of the wood from the trees that the tree cutter took down. So with permaculture, one person's trash is another person's treasure. And the stable owner and the tree cutter downer, they would have to pay to get rid of their waste. But here they donate it or give it to the farmer, and then the farmer can use it where he needs to use it.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Fuerteventura's government has developed a functional and inviting park for residents. open to all for activities like celebrations. The park features free access and online bookings. UNN Field Messenger Emma takes us on a tour of this park.
Hi, this is Emma, Field Messenger for UNN, reporting from one of the skate parks, the other side of the skate park here in Fuerteventura, Spain in Europe. I'm here at the birthday celebration in the background, and I just want to show these facilities, which is perfect. They're free, but you have to book them online, and they're perfect for a birthday where children can run around, play on the playgrounds. Parents can connect, grandparents can also connect, and you can barbecue, you can make food and drinks, so it's a perfect area. So this is the main entrance of La Tunera Park, and here you can see that the park is open from 8:30 in the morning until 10:30 in the evening. So this is the facilities that they have. You book it online and you can use the facilities, and you have to clean it before you leave. And there's people coming to check whether they're clean or not, and they have your name, so if you don't clean, you get a fine. And here's the children's area, just briefly. And then there's facilities for exercises. And there's football grounds, there's water, and there's plenty of tables where people can sit, have lunch, enjoy their party, and celebrate together out in nature. And it's free. You don't pay to celebrate. You just have to book it. On top of this area, there is plastic grass, but it's a football field, and it's very popular for kids to play football here. And as you can see, there's a sea view. The sea is very close, so you can run down and have a swim if you want to. And here we're back to the area where the celebration, the birthday celebration is, and the playground. So it's not a huge place, but it's safe. It has a fence around it. It's closed at night, but it's very popular during the week, especially the weekends. So this is such a good initiative. The local government has done a wonderful job with this park.
Hello, this is my son's birthday. This is a typical birthday celebration here in Fuerteventura. There is free people like grilling, and eating cakes, and the boys go playing football or skating. And here we are, adults, trying to have a good time.
And this is typical. All the men are now around the barbecue, having beer and sausage. So this is a typical children's birthday with family. Hope you liked the report, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Oweneba from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Sulzet from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the northwest province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
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 And if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messengers, United Network News. See you next time.
Step into a world of possibilities with New Earth, a groundbreaking series that shines light on holistic ways to live, work, and thrive. Join us weekly to discover new innovative ideas and explore the world around us as we, together, create our future, our New Earth.
The internet has been buzzing lately with viral videos of Chinese manufacturers spilling the secrets behind luxury brands. And it's the kind of drama we never knew we needed. From handbags to sneakers, these clips offer a rare glimpse into where and how high-end items are really made. Turns out, the story behind the labels seems to be way more interesting than we thought. It all ties back to the ongoing trade war between the United States and China, which has seen tariffs soar to 145% on Chinese goods, with China imposing retaliatory duties of 125%. In response, Chinese manufacturers are striking back in a surprising way by selling luxury goods directly to consumers at significantly lower prices. Think handbags, clothing, and cosmetics, premium quality items crafted for brands like Birkin and Louis Vuitton, but sold without the iconic logos and at a fraction of the cost. TikTok and X, formerly Twitter users, have been sharing videos from these manufacturers, showcasing their expert craftsmanship and high-grade materials. People are shocked to find out most luxury goods are made cheaply in Chinese factories, with 90% of the cost just paying for the brand name. To top it off, many of these manufacturers offer free global shipping and even cover import duties, flipping the script on the old made in China stereotype.
This Chinese factory owner just exposed how luxury bags are a total scam.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, vapors, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world.
Regina Frey, a professor at the University of the Arts London, explains luxury products labeled as made in Italy or Switzerland often have ties to China. Many brands pre-assemble parts like hardware for watches or packaging for handbags in China before finishing them in Europe. Luxury supply chains are notoriously opaque, making it hard to know the full production process.
Most Swiss watches are actually made in China, and the reason that replicas often look just as good as the original is that they are made in the same factory. So when you think Swiss made, you're imagining this bespoke factory in Switzerland with mountains in the background, with artisans working really hard to make exquisite timepieces. That's not the case. So how do they get away with calling it Swiss made if most of it is manufactured in China? Well, it's a little loophole where as long as 60% of the total cost of construction happens in Switzerland, they can call it Swiss made. Almost all of the movement's the thing that makes this thing tick, is done in China. And then they'll take one component that might be a little bit more expensive. Usually it's something like the rotor, the thing that makes it automatically wind. And they'll just slap that on and they'll make sure that that is 60% of the cost. Now, it also has to be manufactured in Switzerland. But what does that actually mean? It just means that they have to put this little crystal on here, the lens of the watch. As long as they slap that on in Switzerland, they can call it a Swiss watch.
According to the Signs of the Times news site, some large European fashion houses denied the claims without evidence, while others stayed silent. One brand released a video showing designers at work, but it didn't address the claims. Many demanded proof, videos asking to see actual factories in Europe with workers making the products. However, no fashion house responded to the challenge.
Big name brands are speaking out after videos online have been popping off with Chinese manufacturers claiming they can sell you the same luxury items for a fraction of the price.
They sell you legging pants for $100. Here in these two factories, you can get them for around $5 to $6.
So listen, the videos call out big name brands like Lululemon, Nike, Dior, and Louis Vuitton, claiming they make their stuff super cheap in China, then slap on a label and sell it for way more in the US.
The material and the craftsmanship are basically the same because they all come the same production line.
On top of that, some creators are even urging people to buy directly from these Chinese manufacturers.
Follow Daniel, help you find the best suppliers.
We did some research, and according to brands like Louis Vuitton, they actually say they don't produce anything in China according to their website. Plus, our BG Show team reached out to Lululemon, and they said in an email statement, and I quote, "Lululemon does not work with the manufacturers identified in the online videos, and we urge consumers to be aware of potentially counterfeit products and misinformation." Plus, the company shared its official supplier list. You already know reactions online have been blowing up. Take a look.
We're going to see a real flip in a lot of things, whether it comes to who buys luxury goods and perception of luxury as well.
So in the end, it's a classic case of conflicting claims. He said, she said. Some people think the Chinese claims are just talk and caution against counterfeits, while others believe the claims are legit and should be taken seriously. The truth is, without real transparency in the fashion industry, it's hard to know where luxury brands are actually sourcing from. Until brands start being more upfront about their supply chains, we're all just left guessing and making choices based on limited information. If you're a parent, you've probably felt the childcare crunch over the past few years. With the pandemic forcing many traditional centers to close or cut capacity, finding reliable, affordable care has gotten tougher than ever. But in the middle of this challenge, a new option has quietly been gaining ground: micro childcare centers. These small programs are popping up in creative places, including right inside businesses where parents work, offering families a much-needed lifeline with more personalized, flexible care just steps away from their workplace. Unlike large daycare facilities or home-based care, micro childcare centers inside workplaces are small on-site programs that typically serve a limited number of children. Micro childcare centers offer the same valuable benefits traditionally seen in large companies that have full-scale childcare centers on site, but on a smaller, more flexible scale. Just like big corporate childcare facilities, these micro centers provide the convenience of having children nearby, reducing commute time and making it easier for parents to check in throughout the day. They also support better work-life balance, improve employee satisfaction, and help attract and retain working parents.
Working mother Jessica McKenzie doesn't have to choose between spending hours behind her desk and making time for her 3-year-old Haley. That's because there's a daycare center just feet from her office at PepsiCo's headquarters in Purchase, New York.
How often do you see her during the workday?
So when she first started, I'll be quite honest, I came down here very frequently, probably 4 or 5 times a day. I would just peer through the glass.
Haley is one of 70 kids ranging in age from 6 months to 5 years old who do yoga, play with blocks, and paint masterpieces at Pep Start.
Good job, Max.
The program isn't free, but because Pepsi takes care of overhead costs, it's less expensive than a standalone daycare. Matt Del Judas checks in on his daughter Penelope Jane between meetings.
I think it's a big retention hook for a lot of folks. Most companies don't have something like this.
Large companies like PepsiCo often have an easier time offering full childcare services on site because they have more resources, more space, and budget to build and operate large-scale childcare centers within their buildings. These centers can serve dozens or even hundreds of children and may include full-time staff, dedicated classrooms, and a wide range of amenities. In contrast, micro childcare centers operate on a smaller scale and are designed to fit into smaller spaces within a workplace. For example, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, they're transforming empty classrooms into micro childcare centers, offering much-needed care for the children of teachers and school staff. By repurposing unused school space, these small centers provide affordable, convenient care right where their parents work, while saving costs on rent, utilities, and maintenance. Originally launched to help retain young teachers, the program has grown to 12 centers across the city, and now organizers hope to expand this model into other businesses, hospitals, and workplaces. Last year, another micro childcare center was launched inside an elementary school in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knox County families now have a new option for childcare. The YMCA of East Tennessee today hosted the grand opening of a micro center at Sarah Moore Green Elementary School. With help from the United Way, the center hopes to address the need for affordable, high-quality childcare.
It's absolutely huge to be able to not have to worry about the daycare aspect and being able to have, your kids come with you, and then also not having to worry about if they're being taken care of.
The micro center provides childcare for infants through preschool.
One of the biggest reasons micro childcare centers are catching on is because they skip a lot of the hassle that comes with opening a traditional childcare facility. Instead of building or renting a new space, they use rooms that already exist, like empty classrooms or extra space at work. Utilities, cleaning, and maintenance are usually covered by the host, which keeps costs low. And with smaller groups of kids, they need fewer staff and simpler setups, making it much easier to get started. Traditional centers also face tough, expensive licensing and insurance requirements. Micro childcare centers often fall under more flexible categories, like being licensed as family childcare homes, even inside schools or offices, so they meet safety standards without all the red tape. Insurance is simpler too, often just added to an existing policy. It's an easier, more affordable way to offer reliable childcare right where parents work. Creating a micro childcare center is a great way to support working parents. Start by finding a safe, available space, like an empty classroom or extra room at work. Check with your state's licensing agency to see what rules apply. You'll also want to talk to the building's insurance provider about adding coverage. From there, hire qualified staff, gather supplies, and set up the space to meet safety standards. Partnering with a local childcare group can make the process even smoother.
Exploring the natural world gives children a sense of well-being and connection with nature. UNN Field Messenger Jane shows us how much fun children can have on a journey through the forest.
Hello, this is Jane, Field Messenger for Network News. I'd like to share with you our weekly visits to our local forest in our local community. Little Acorns has been visiting these forests for over 10 years and has enjoyed seeing the changes in nature in all seasons and all weathers. Our favourite thing is to visit the Gruffalo and share our fruit with him. We also wait at the fridge to watch for the unicorns as they cross over the bridge. We stop at the fairy tree and leave a little gift.
That's what sticks.
What's this tree called? Can you remember, guys? This is called the
fairy tree.
Well done.
We
have lots of friends in the forest, including the birds and the deer family. One of our favourite things is to jump in muddy puddles. I was once showed that nature has the answer to everything, and I believe this to be true. We are very grateful that we have such a beautiful place to visit, and the children seem to really benefit from their time in nature. We visit the dragon's den and be careful not to wake the sleeping dragon. Thank you for listening. I'm sure there'll be more stories coming from the woods. See you next time.
UNN is changing the face of news. Join us for our weekly Field Messenger meetings and learn how you can make a difference. Visit unitednetwork.earth for more information. Thanks for watching.